All right, gotta love a news-driven market. Pretty significant gap. Not too worried because we're still within the range of last week expected move. There is equal highs over here that I expect to have some magnet effect on the price action, roughly 69.30 as far as I can see it. I mean, we are in inverse head and shoulders into likely what we're going to form if the market really is iffy and still kind of fearful because of war and everything that's going on. I think we're going to look at a right shoulder formation. This would be the neck, so we could consolidate here and then we get into a right shoulder for a drop back down to gamma, assuming gamma stays there. I'm going to update those levels at 3 a.m. But as far as right now, that's what I'm seeing. We did get a divergence on with last week price action. You got descending volume and then price action just basically stalled there. It kept going up, but it kind of stalled. So as far as I'm concerned, lowest we could go is 67.12. Anything below that, we're gonna come and retest the hard support and probably value low as far as I'm concerned. It's I'm not too worried because there's a lot of buyers that came in. All of this is all consolidation, and they all came in here, so they're not gonna let those positions go bust, right? They're gonna keep buying into that. It's gonna need a lower high so that it can recover as far as price action. So that's what I have for this week. I'm not too keen on trading this because it's news driven. One tweet can change the whole sentiment. One bomb can change the whole sentiment. It's so fucked up that I would rather really position myself into a 200T tap and expect buyers to come in here or maybe a wick inside that liquidity so that it comes back into the right shoulder or go straight for a right shoulder. I mean, either way, we need a higher high here. We're gonna need a lower high and then a higher high, and maybe a higher low. But I mean, the higher low would be over here into a higher high if we keep the sentiment as is. That being said, I do have a few stocks that I was looking at. Let me pull those up. I wanted to expose myself to the space sector because the space sector is something new, but it's also very popular right now. I mean, they're sending rockets, they want to do Nvidia wants to do data centers in space. So eh, I'm pretty sure that's the future. That's what we're going to be looking at. They're going to start sending those data centers out there because on Earth it's too warm and it requires too much electricity. So once it's in space, then it's cooled by space, right? So it's like a benefit. So I do have a list that I'm gonna send. It's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. It's 17 stocks from lunch and tourism, satellites, infrastructure, space connectivity, defense and aerospace, and then moon and beyond. That is pretty much what I'm going to expose, and I'm just going to keep that for many, many years. Just to be in the sector before everything goes crazy, because at some point it's going to be very popular. Money is going to rotate. I wouldn't say it's defensive, but I wouldn't say it's offensive. It's more of a early positioning so that in the future, if something is to happen, we're already going to be in, and it's going to. Some of those are relatively cheap for what they're looking for as a sentiment. Other than that, this week that's all I'm looking at. I mean, oil ramped up, right? Like we don't have much. That's pretty much a right shoulder. It needs to come back down. If oil does not come back down from, I wouldn't say it's going to go to 111 again, but it is in an area where it could be a head and shoulder. So if this is a top pattern, oil will come back down to 80s, high 80s, low 80s, somewhere thereabout. It's pretty much where it would go. But it's all consolidation right now. I mean, we failed a higher high. Now I'd be really concerned if it does go for a higher high. Like if oil creates a higher high, the indices are fucked. Like we recovered POC and then we just rocketed on a gap. But there is a gap. It's gonna get filled. I'm pretty sure 98 is gonna get retested, and indices are gonna keep going up. Energy is another one. Energy went on a tangent. POC is pretty high. I think energy had a decent sell off, and there's a possibility that if we do close above 2.7, it's gonna rocket. It's gonna rocket to 2.8. So keep that in mind. This is a beautiful trade. If we do close above 20T and secure it with a retest, like so, but an actual retest, and then it holds there, we're gonna go way higher. Traumas are too tight for me to say that it's not gonna go up. At some point, everything has been fetched, and these equal highs are gonna get fetched at 3. So keep your eyes on energy. This trend is it's a downtrend, but at the same time, at some point, it's gonna find support. It did create a lower low. It should at some point, once it closes above 20T, get a nice little spike. That's going to go and fetch the liquidity up here. This is all selling liquidity too, so expect some selling over here. I wouldn't go any higher, but I would definitely see that there is a pretty beautiful trend over here. Metals are just hovering. I wouldn't even touch those. I would wait because as of right now, I mean, it's just everything's red, right? So it's news driven. Wait for a tweet. Once the tweet come in, then you can be like, oh, okay, we're ready. Beside that, I wouldn't expose anything else or anything more rather. I'm not looking at any stocks. I'm looking at this. This is gonna tell me. This is gonna basically be my bull bear. This is probably gonna fill the gap, but at the same time, it's a beautiful pattern. We could consolidate here and then continue. Lots of volume came in. This is all buyers. It looks like a spike for now, but at the same time, I want to see the reaction of that spike. Candles are very clean, much cleaner than previously. So there's a lot of volume that came in. I mean, we did get some selling pressure, but at the same time, the sellers gave out. And worst case scenario, I mean, we go back down to 91, which is where I'm going to buy more because I'm going to keep buying this. I like this. This is something that's going to keep going up in the future. And as long as we hold 132, 127, we're fine. These two long-term traumas are going up. So is 20. So as far as right now, I'm bullish with that. Corporate bonds are going to be falling. They should be falling. You don't want those to continue going higher. Value high was taken. Value low is pretty low, and there's equal lows over here that should be fetched in the future. I would say in the coming month or so, whenever there's a tweet about the war being over or some fucking deal that they make, corporate bonds should fall. So if you look at these and inverse the market, depending on the price action, that's pretty much where we're gonna go. Other than that, same thing here. Corporate bonds value low is significantly low. This one doesn't really have any equal lows, but there's liquidity down there. This was retested, so it's probably gonna fall somewhere, fill the gap here, somewhere there about when it's stabilized, and then fetch some liquidity over here. Other than that, I don't have anything else this week. I'm not looking at stocks. I'm not willing to buy stocks. I'm gonna expose myself to a sector and just leave it at that because I don't want to play this too heavily so I don't get caught. I mean, the dollar itself came out of POC. It's still closed below. Well, now it's above, but it's pretty tight. Did fetch the equal highs. Worst case scenario, we go to 100. If we do go to 100, that's going to apply pressure. That's going to show us that the price action is bearish. Other than that, I'm not too worried about what's going to happen. VIX is on the way down from its spikes. We did close below 20T. As long as we hold below 20T, we're going to go below 50 and below 200, and we're going to go back in the 16, 14 range. If we do, obviously it's going to, like, people sentiment is going to be uh, bullish, but at the same time, because VIX is still sleeping until market open, we might spike up. Obviously, we might spike above 21. I would probably see it at 23, somewhere there about some spike in this area and then a fall. As far as right now, all I'm looking at is if it holds below 20T. If we do, then we're fine. If we don't, and then we retest and the keep above, we're going to continue with the fear sentiment until there's a tweet. It's all resting on a tweet, on a fucking, like, that's what I hate about this current market is it's just, it's not even a structure. It's like someone says something and then the market just rallies or sells off. So it just play it safe. Just chill. That's all you gotta do is chill. Play it safe. It's easier that way. SPX is likely gonna gap down to value low. Want to see the reaction of value low? I mean, it's gonna fill the gap. 66.93. Want to see the reaction over here. If we do close under, we're going to retest it from under and then go fetch some more liquidity over here, or retest the breaker structure of 66.17. Again, this could form a head and shoulder pattern. Let's come back down, come back up. Intraday fetch the high, fetch a lower high, and then it falls back down to the breaker structure. So just keep your eyes peeled for sentiment. It's going to be a volatile week. There's a bunch of news. We do have, it should be a good week ahead, but again, just keep your eyes peeled for a tweet. That's going to be your buying spree that's going to continue coming back. That's all you gotta really look at is the buying spree. Once we do get that tweet, we'll be able to just buy and hold. So it's not gonna be much of a you're not gonna have to put much thoughts into it. Bitcoin, same thing. I mean, it attempted it, but again, it's at support. It's not going anywhere lower than support. I mean, I would say anything below 70K, yes, we could absolutely go back down to 66 in a heartbeat. But as far as right now, it's stuck at support. There's nothing to worry about for the time being. I think this is going to be just like the tariffs. Everybody was fearful at first, right? Everybody started selling, oh, tariffs bad. And then after the fifth time they say he said he was going to extend the deadline, nobody really gave a shit about the tariffs. Nobody was fearful anymore. So that all we have to do is wait. That's the only thing we got to do is wait. We're still back in the range. We do have this, and that's pretty much where I think we're going to open. 670, 672-ish. I mean, there is a bunch of liquidity here that we could go fetch, and that would act as support 60, 66, 7. That should be where we would stop with a wick. As far as this week, I'm just waiting. I'm waiting to see price action. I want to see more price action. I am not willing to rush in. I want to wait. I want to see what's going to happen. And so should you. Just be safe.